Yo, this hot, this the spot, there it is, pod.com. We're interviewing the best comedians, so tune in quick and get your ears receiving them. We talking about life and laughter, stream right to you, from the microphone right to your home, dude. Side note, this might get embarrassing, but no, don't sweat, yo, cause there it is.
Boop, boop, boop. Welcome to the There It Is podcast, a comedy podcast to help you find your inspiration. I'm your host, Jason Farr. Let's do this. Thanks so much for joining us today. Excellent episode for you. We have singer, actor, comedian, Erin Richardson. And it's a really great chat. Now, if you're listening to this before June 6th and you live in New York City, come out to our first ever live taping this Saturday at Young Ethel's in Brooklyn at 1. It's our 10th anniversary episode, so we have a great show planned with previous friends of the podcast like Julia Schroeder, Art Kai, Sean Cantatori, and Mike Kaplan. And if you don't live in New York City, we're going to be posting the episode next week, so be on the lookout for that. But I hope you can make it. All right, let's move on to today's episode, our last before the 10th anniversary one, and what a great episode to release before that special ep. Erin is so talented, so great. We have a really good conversation about her work and her work ethic. It's super informative and also a delight. Let's get right to it. Here's my chat with Erin Richardson. You are a triple threat. I mean, you're a singer, an actor, and a comedian. I think I saw some videos of you doing a little dance too. So you're a quadruple threat, I guess.
Oh, it probably was not good dancing. If it was dancing, it depends on what type of dancing it is. At like a wedding, I'm really good at dancing, but when they're like double pirouettes, it's a struggle.
I think I did see a picture of you at a wedding dancing too.
That's my element.
Yeah. You are from Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And
I am.
So I know that when you were in high school and through college, you were a writer. You're in the equestrian. Do they say equestrian sports?
Yeah, you say equestrian sports, horseback riding, kind of anything.
Yeah. You were like the captain of the team at your college.
I was, yeah. Horses were like my life for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's like what I chose my college based on, which my parents thought was such a great decision.
Are you being sarcastic or?
No, yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Where I was like, I'm going to go here because they have a really great horseback riding team. And they were like, what? Okay. But yeah. So horses were a huge part of my life up until like when I moved to New York full time. So now it's mostly just like when I go to visit family, I'll try to like go to a friend's farm to see horses and stuff. So
when did you move to New York full time?
Oh my gosh. It has been over a decade ago.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Does not feel like it has been that long.
Fine. Yeah, no, I mean, I just remember a couple years after the pandemic being like, wow, the pandemic makes things feel like they're so long ago. And now, like anything before the pandemic felt so long ago. And now the pandemic was 6 years ago. And I'm like, wait.
I know, that's crazy. It feels like, I'm like, last year during the pandemic. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's like, I was in a show and one of the cast members had been in college during the pandemic, which just kind of like blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, what? So it's
nuts.
Kind of crazy. Yeah.
But enough about the pandemic.
Yeah.
People don't want to remember that. But you in college, you studied voice and musical theater.
I did, yeah.
So you were already doing that before college.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I've been performing like my whole life, really.
Aren't we all?
Right? Yeah.
Born performers.
Right. Yeah. I just came out singing and dancing. But my mom was a accompanist for our church. So I would go to like the choir rehearsals and then joined like the kids choir when I was really, really young, which kind of led into then children's theater, like, and then more choir and more singing. So it kind of just has always been a part of my life, really.
Yeah. You moved to New York and you're doing so many of the things. Like you started,
Trying.
you've been at all the theaters in some capacity performing at
Yeah.
all the major improv theaters, Caveat. You've been in BoogieManja, the big
hmm
independent sketch crew here in New York. How long have you been working with them?
I've been on BoogieManja for, I think, a little less than 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with the team Cliffhanger, which I love my team so much. I feel like we're a very unique situation where everyone on the team like really genuinely loves working with each other and kind of all has the same level of commitment too, which I feel like is really hard, especially in comedy, to be on a team with people, especially when it's a team that you didn't personally help put together in any way,
Yeah.
but to all one vibe and get along really well, and then to also all have like the same amount of like, this is what we want to do, this is where we want to go. So I feel like it's a very special
Yeah.
thing in my
I
mind.
was just about to say that is special to experience when everyone is just on the same wavelength and get along in such a unique way, because I've experienced that where it's like, wow, all of these people, like we all like get along in such a way.
Mm.
I've had that a couple of times, and it is, while I've had it a couple of times, I'm fully aware that that is not the norm. You know, even if you
Right.
like everybody that you're performing with, it is not the norm for you all to bond in a special way or to be on the same
Yeah.
wavelength, both off stage, but also with the pursuits you want to have
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
stage. Like that is a special thing. So what do you think attributes to that? Is it just luck of the draw?
I don't know. I came into the team after it had already been around for, I think, a full year. No, more than that, a couple of years. So like it was already like a very well greased machine sort of thing. And I think the vibe was already there when I came on. Like when I joined the team, everyone that was already a part of it had this like common bond and camaraderie. And it was a very positive group to join in on. So I'm not quite sure how much of it was just luck.
Yeah.
I do think since I came on, I think a lot of it was also our directors that we've had. We had Eric Fuhrer direct us for like a solid year and a half. And now Sarah Smallwood Parsons directs us. And both of them, I think they're so good and they're such good writers that I feel like they really make us continue to grow. And so I think because of that, we're always excited about our shows and excited about what we're creating and like believe in what we're creating. And so I feel like that just kind of fosters this aspect of like, let's keep making things together and doing this positive thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong.
How does it help to be on a team with people who all have the same interest with what it is you're doing together?
I think a big part of it is like, with comedy, so much of it is, not paid. And so I think without having that like monetization aspect, a lot of times it's really hard to get people to like commit to a certain level, or, just because like life happens, right? And so you're like, all right, I've got these 3 things to do, and this one thing like isn't bringing me income or whatever. So like, unfortunately, it has to like go to the bottom of the list or whatever that is. So having like the like-mindedness. So because there isn't like that, I have to show up for work every day. Since you all are of a similar mindset in terms of like our goals are aligned, I think that really makes things easier for accomplishing whatever those like goals are. Versus like if you're on a group at a job working on a project, it's kind of like you have to do it regardless of how invested you are, sort of thing. So to have people who are like naturally want to be invested in equal amounts, I think really helps.
I often, and you were in athletics, so you get it. I'll bring this up because I think it's relevant. I think you'll have something intelligent to say about it.
Uh-oh.
Oftentimes, while I was not in organized sports, I just like to observe things and learn from different industries or spaces. And I oftentimes compare this subject to a sports team, where everyone is committed to trying to rise above and get to an extra level, or, like try to be champions. And I compare that a lot with this team that you're on now, where it's a crew that have the same desires out of it. So everyone's trying, everyone's making a real effort. Do you see the comparison? Do you see that metaphor? Does that really play out?
Oh my God. No, now that I think that's like a perfect metaphor. And I think that's what, makes or breaks a great team, with riding. I mean, most of riding is, an individual sport, but I was on a team and all through like high school and middle school and college and all that. And I think what makes a great team is everyone on the team wants to be the best, essentially wants to, get to the top of the mountain sort of thing. Because if you have a couple people that are like, oh, I just want to do this for fun and, it's a hobby or whatever, which is great. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, valid reason to do it. Yeah. But this is where I think the subject
if you want to get to the, if you want to get to the top of the mountain, it's hard to get there if you have a few people that are like, I'm okay just like getting to the foothills.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Well, I want to go farther. So like when you have a team of everyone that is like, no, we want to all like get to that top and work together to get there. I think that's what makes a successful sports team as well as like a successful comedy team. Absolutely. I think that's like a really smart parallel.
Yeah. And it's tough the thing where it can maybe break down is that there isn't a clear championship.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what is the top of the mountain for anyone? It's definitely.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily know that anyone has a strong answer to that, because they're like, what is it? Like, what, is just doing good shows, well, even that is going to be different depending on the person, because someone who is just there for fun, just the fact that you got up there is the championship to them. Whereas to someone else, it's like, I want us to just do the best stuff we can do and do like inspiring stuff. But it's hard to do that when there are people who don't want to do inspired work.
Very true. Yeah. And I think something I've learned over the years in comedy is like, you can't force anyone to become more invested than they are, or like want different things than what they personally want. Like there's just no point of trying. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. It's such an interesting thing to me, because like personalities and managing them is really a huge part of being on a team in New York, because there are people who maybe they're not, and I'm not talking about any team that we've been on, either of us. I'm just saying, if you have someone who is, let's say, really ambitious, but they haven't put in the work to be good at the craft or the skill, but then you have someone who is just naturally talented, but yet they are just there for fun and don't really they just kind of shrug their shoulder about it. It's hard to manage personalities where it's like you're slowing us down, but like you can't say it like that. I've never said that to a team.
But, get off the ship.
Right. I have heard stories about people saying that to a teammate and how like difficult it was to try to have those conversations. And it's like, can you have those conversations? Because I don't know. I guess I think a director could maybe say that to a cast.
Yeah, I think that's where it's like it takes the people at the top, like, because if you're on a sports team, you can't really be like, you suck, get off the team, or not like you suck, but like you don't align. That's the coach's decision sort of thing. So I think in those situations, it is like the director's responsibility. Which if you're part of like an organization such as like BoogieManja, it's great that at the end of every season, I think even also like halfway through the season, we get to fill out like anonymous questionnaires and sort of like say like how we're feeling, if we're happy, not happy, like would we prefer to be moved maybe somewhere else? Is there someone we're not necessarily getting along with? So at least gives you a chance to like voice that, I think, if you would need it, versus like when you're on the indie circuit, then that becomes a lot harder where it's like, well, now what do we, like, if you have that person that doesn't seem to fit, like, how do you have that conversation? Or do you just not?
I think most people opt not to because
right.
that's an awkward conversation. And, you know, it's like that's
and I don't think,
I don't know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, and I don't think comedians tend to really necessarily like confrontation generally. As like like I think we go above and beyond, you know, the whole like yes and thing is I feel like true in like most of life. So yeah, I think I would be surprised to hear of a team that I feel like it would have to be drastic for a team to be like, no, we told them to like leave.
Yeah, when people are asked to leave a team, it does tend to be because of toxic behavior, and that everyone's happy to say no to that guy,
right?
And to get him out of there. But yeah, when it is something like, hey, you're not focused enough. If it's like a basketball team could say like, did we win or lose the game? You know, or if like if they won, but it was a tough win because they weren't following the fundamentals, it's easy to point out. And like maybe if it's sketch work, you could say like, hey, these lines were dropped, these cues were dropped, like all this, like there's stuff concrete to point to. And you can point to a script and say, this is how it's supposed to go. But like an improv team, I've heard of people saying like, yeah, I would tell an improv team that like, hey, we're not doing good enough work. And it's like, what do you point to? How do you, what can you point to prove your point? And it's like, well, this show wasn't good. And it's like, okay, but that's going to happen. It's improv where like someone's going to miss something. And then the next show, it might be gangbusters. But this one was a whimper because people didn't have ideas come to them. You know, it's like, how do you, I don't know what the right way to go about that is. If people are like, we could do such strong work. Like, how do you do it in improv? I don't
Oh God. Yeah. That's like a lot more subjective, I guess. And there's really no concrete evidence. That's good thought though.
Yeah. I mean, I just wonder, I don't know who has done it in a healthy way, but I do wonder.
Right.
I'll have to ask some old Chicago improvisers how they handled it. And be
some
like,
OGs.
I was like, was this a healthy way to handle it or not? So you do have a love of improv because I know you went to UCB as well. I think it was UCB that turned you on to improv, right? Like, was that your first place seeing it?
It was, I really fell into comedy just by accident. When I moved to New York, I moved here for musical theater and was auditioning a bunch and getting kind of burnt out. And my roommate at the time was a modern dancer. And she was taking a class at UCB to help with her dancing, and she actually ended up really not liking her class, mostly because it wasn't what she thought it was going to be to like take for modern dance, which in hindsight, I'm like, a UCB improv class is definitely not going to help you with modern dance, I would think. But I went with her to a show and I was like, oh my God, this is like really cool. And I was feeling so burnt out that I was like, well, I'll take an improv class because that's a good tool to have in your toolbox as an actor. And so I took a improv class. I didn't even embarrassingly didn't know what UCB was until like I had my roommate say, do you want to come to this show? So improv was like very foreign to me, but I just fell in love immediately and was like hooked and felt like I vividly remember the end of my first improv class and just like making myself laugh so hard and having so much fun. Yeah. And then I also felt like it was the first time I met a group of people that I like identified with. In musical theater, still to this day, I feel very much kind of like an outcast. Like I don't really fit in the musical theater world, I think. Just personality wise, so many musical theater people just I don't know. I never felt like I really belonged. But then when I started doing improv, I was meeting these people that I was like, oh, like I get along, like I get you. Like we have similar interests. We kind of have a similar vibe. I get like, it just felt like I had found a place where like I fit a lot more naturally. And yeah, and I just fell in love. And then I saw like music improv for my first time and my mind like exploded. And I was like, this is a thing? Like you can sing and do it. Like what? And so I like immediately enrolled at Magnet and went all through their program because I was like, holy shit, this is like my two favorite things combined, like comedy and singing. But yeah, it really came into my life by accident. But
Yeah.
thank God it did.
Are you still doing any musical improv?
I am. So I do this show called On the Spot. I'm not able to be on all their shows. They do a show every other Monday, and it's a little different format. They combine it with cabaret singers. So they have like 3 to 5 singers come to the show, and a singer does a song, and then us as improvisers improvise like a scene in a musical based off of that song. And then so like we do a scene into a song. Then another singer comes up and does their song, and we use that to kind of like shape where the story goes. So it's a little different than your normal like Magnet Theater music improv show, but it's super fun. I really love getting to do it, and it gives me that like little outlet to do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you, a few years ago, started creating stuff for online, doing character bits. How did that develop for you? What made you want to get into it? And I know it's partly because we were all stuck at home in the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really like the main reason. Yeah, the pandemic happened and there were no more sketch shows to act in or anything like that. And I was just kind of going stir crazy and, didn't have an outlet for anything. And everyone else was, making things. And I was like, well, I guess I'll make something. And so like gave it a try and just kind of kept doing it from there sort of thing. I'm definitely not nearly as good at like consistency as others. That's for sure. And like, I definitely prefer a lot more of like the acting, performing aspect than like the writing aspect.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I know that, there are people say like, oh, you got to post this much to beat the algorithm and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not sustainable for the average person. Even the average creator isn't especially if you're doing it alone. What kind of characters and pieces do you gravitate towards when you're creating stuff like that?
I think I really gravitate towards physical comedy way more than anything that's really on the page. Like when I'm thinking of characters in my mind, it'll be, a character that like walks a certain way or talks a certain way or, has like some physical characteristic. But like then what they're actually doing kind of comes later, which I think is part of why I like have such a hard time writing, because I'm always like, well, I don't really know what I want to do except write this character that's, got a weird limp or something, or I don't know, whatever it is. But I definitely love the like physicality aspect of comedy when it comes to
I could see that, having seen your work, because you are such a physically comedic person. Like you use your body very well and your face very well for the comedy part of it.
Yeah. Yes, I have a very expressive face. Sometimes too expressive.
How did that develop for you? Was that just something like this, just how you were naturally, or did you kind of figure out to do that?
No, I've been being told not to do it kind of my entire life. Like I definitely grew up with, I think back to high school and how many times, someone would be like, oh my God, you're like so pretty. And then you make that face. Or like, oh, don't make that face. You look so weird. Like I just always was very expressive with my face. And I think I was very self-conscious of it. I think until I took a comedy class and sort of realized that like, it was kind of like the first time I wasn't like being shamed, I guess, for like making weird faces. I mean, that sounds like weird and probably should be like unpacked with a therapist, but like there really was like, I've always just like made crazy faces and been very expressive. And I think comedy was sort of where I found the ability to be that it was okay to do that. And so it just kind of like allowed me to do this thing that I had always done and not feel weird for it, I guess, in a way. If that makes sense.
That makes complete sense. It is. I mean, I'm from South Carolina. You're from Virginia. Of course, in that part of the world, there is a lot of, when you're like a clown kid,
Right.
you're gonna get told a lot. Hey, stop doing that. It's impolite. And so, do you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I hold back a lot out of I just think it has to do with my upbringing of like, stop doing this, stop doing that. And those are like the funny things about a person, the funny things about me. But I can have a little bit of a speed bump to getting it out because I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. And I'm not a rebellious type. Do you experience what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh my God. 1,000%. So I really, and this is going to sound probably like so cliche or cheesy or whatever, but like, I find so much like strength in comedy because I get to do all of these things that my entire life, I was told that I shouldn't be doing because, it's like, you don't, like, you need to be a lady and like, oh, girls don't do that. And like, don't make unattractive faces or like do this weird thing with your body and stuff. And comedy is a way to kind of like push back and kind of like say like, fuck you to like all of that. And like really like have power over that and do all the things that you naturally want to do, but you're being told like you're not supposed to because it's not, polite or right. Or it's like not the box that you're supposed to like fit into. So I think that's what I love so much about comedy, even with like musical theater, it's like there's still a box they're gonna put you in. And it's always like the character actors always want to be like the leading characters and vice versa or whatever. And in comedy, it's like I can play anything I want that I would never get to play, in a musical. Like I'm never gonna play the like crazy old grandpa or whatever in a musical, but like sketch and comedy allows me to do those things, which I feel like is very gratifying, I think, in a way.
Absolutely. I keep trying to figure out how to like get past that thing in my head when I'm like, oh no, you're not supposed to do this. Because it just slows me down.
Just ignore it.
Yeah, I gotta learn to ignore it. That could be tough, especially if you do it and then it doesn't get the reaction that you're hoping for, or it's like, and I don't even mean like not the laugh that you're hoping for. I mean the like people judging it.
Yeah, it's not it's not taken the way you thought people would perceive it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely get that.
I'm just being me and I'm not doing anything mean. So what,
right. Yeah.
It'd be one thing if I said something inappropriate, but.
Right. Yeah. That's also like an interesting part, I think, of comedy in terms of like safe spaces and all that. Just very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What are your pursuits right now? What are you focused on now?
So right now I'm doing things with my sketch team. We are working on our next show. I'm really trying to book a musical. I haven't booked just a traditional musical in a long time. And so I've been going to tons of auditions. I was at one right before I joined with you to try and book a regional musical someplace. Because as much as I love comedy, I love singing so much and really miss getting to do that. And also working towards, my comedic mountaintop is SNL or some sort of ensemble comedy type show. So I'm right now I'm working on updating my impressions and character reels to kind of get them polished up more to hopefully help open some doors. And also just looking forward to going to the beach this summer and forgetting about all of this stuff for a week. I allow myself 2 weeks in the summer where I'm I'm not going to think about this at all. And it's usually after 10 days that I finally stop thinking about it. And then it's cool, great. Now I got to head back to work in 3 days.
Yeah. No, I just got back from being upstate over the weekend and still worked every day.
Yeah.
Well, I was there. It was all my fault that it wasn't relaxing the way it's supposed to be because I was still thinking about all the stuff I'm trying to put together or work I have to do with the theater or something like that.
yeah, it's so hard to like, I feel like because getting to, climbing that mountain is so hard that it's so hard for us to like give ourselves, at least personally, give myself permission to like not focus on it for a while.
Yeah.
Like last year, I reached out to my agent to let them know I was going to be at the beach for a week. And she was like, okay, well, are you still going to be available for self-tapes? And I really didn't want to be because I wanted to be able to like legit not check my email for a week. And so I was like, but I was terrified that she was going to be like, we're not going to work with you anymore. Like, you're horrible for saying no. But I was like, no, I really want to be able to like not look at my email. And she was like, good for you.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. It is okay to do that. Oh, she's amazing. But yeah, so it's like okay to not worry about work.
Yeah.
So,
It is, we need that time. We need to recharge our batteries. Like we have to. And it will make work after it. Like if there's anything I've learned from growing up, hearing stories about Prince and Michael Jackson, the attitude to like keep working your body nonstop is not healthy. They died way young because of it. So it's we got to take that time. We got to take it.
Yeah. And I think when you do, you then get, your quality of work is that I've definitely, especially this past year, I've learned the like quantity versus quality sort of thing, where it was like, at one point I was trying to get 3 things done, like a self-tape and like learn lines for a show and also something else I had to learn or whatever. And instead of just saying like, I can't do this one thing, I didn't. And so I was so stressed and my self-tape was like, meh. And I like messed up a couple lines in the show. And it was just like, nothing turned out great because I just didn't say no to something. Because I was like, I can't say no.
But it's tough. Yeah. No, I mean, we have to learn the power of saying no.
Right.
But yeah, I totally get it. I'm in the same boat when there's like opportunities, like that's so much of what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because that's something we need to get ahead. So like any moment you say like, well, no, this week I'm not going to focus on that. It's like, but what if something comes this week? Because every week we're like, what if something comes this week? I got to be prepared.
Right. Yeah. Like, but what if?
Got to be ready.
Yeah. It could drive you crazy. It really can.
You can. Yeah.
Where in South Carolina are you from?
The upstate.
Nice.
Greenville is where I lived right before moving here, but born and raised in Spartanburg. And I lived a little bit when I was little in Raleigh, North Carolina, but most of my life was spent in South Carolina.
Cool. Awesome.
When you go to the beach, is it back down in Virginia or
it's North Carolina in the Outer Banks.
Okay, yeah, Outer Banks. Yeah, I've been there plenty of times.
Yes, I love it. It's like my favorite place on earth. Which I feel like such like a hillbilly sometimes when so I recently joined Hinge, which is horrible, but like I get messaged by these guys being like, where's like your favorite place to go on vacation, or like where's the favorite place you visited? And I'm like, North Carolina, like the beaches in North Carolina. They're like, oh, it's not like Croatia or Saint whatever Bartholomew's Island off of Snooty McSnooterson's date or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know. I really like it there. I'm from Virginia. Like
that's a bit right there. You could do that as a bit.
I've got a new character to write.
Yeah. Are the beaches in Virginia not something?
There's Virginia Beach, which I haven't been to it since I was like a kid. But I know as a kid, it was very, very commercialized, and like the beach itself was pretty dirty and not great.
That's my feelings about Myrtle Beach. I like other beaches in South Carolina way more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We went to Myrtle Beach, I think, for like our beach week after high school. And yeah, it was just like debauchery.
Yeah.
But my family started going to the Outer Banks when I was really young, and it became this like tradition. And I love it so much because beaches are beautiful. They're clean and it's not built up commercially. So it's like you go there and you kind of have nothing to do but go to the beach. sort of thing, at least like the area where we go. And so it's, to me, I like that a lot more than like going someplace and then having so many things that you can do that it's like you don't really necessarily get to like stop. Like I want to just not do anything except a crossword puzzle and like sit on the beach and eat chips for like my vacation sort of thing, which I feel like you can do at the Outer Banks. But it's a bitch to get to, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is the thing about Outer Banks, is that they are very tough to get through.
Yeah. But at least they like made that highway more than just one lane, like the bridge to cross or whatever. I'm terrified of bridges. I have like an unnatural fear of bridges.
Wow.
Like growing up, whenever we would drive over a bridge, I would keep one hand on my seatbelt and one hand on the window in case like we went over. I could immediately like unbuckle myself and put the window down and jump out or whatever, because I thought that would work, which it wouldn't. But I'm like, oh, this will definitely save me as long as I have my finger on my seatbelt button. But yeah, I was glad when they like made it multiple lanes so you can get across that bridge faster.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you can get out of there. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Well, I hope you feel safe getting across the bridge later this summer when you
sure will
make your way there. Well, we're at the end of the episode. It's time to create something together. And I was thinking advice, because you have this mindset of, an athlete, but also someone who is focused at performing and creating. So what advice would you give for people who want to level up and try to find the next stage for them in a way that is intentional?
I would say find people who you find funny, whose like work you admire and work you really like, and try to make things with them, and make sure you're putting yourself in environments where you're getting positive feedback and not just in environments where like you're being told no, or your work is being critiqued in a way that it sort of starts to chip away at you. But yeah, I think find people that you think that are like funnier than you, that you admire, and try to make things with them. Or classes. I mean, I'm a big believer in classes.
Yeah. And that does make sense. Like if you're working with people you admire, then you will be inspired to do the work, which will help you like level up and get better.
It could be scary too. Yeah. Like if you're making a show and you're like, oh, I really want to invite this person to be in the show, but like you consider them to be like on the next level than you or whatever. And so it's like really intimidating, at least for me, but like,
yeah, no, that's common. 9
times out of 10, they're going to say yes. And then you get to, be around someone whose work you admire and learn from them.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because it is sort of like, if everyone had the attitude was like, work with people who are better than you, then it's like, well, then I would never work with people. They would work with me. They're better than me.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, so I think if it is that concept of, well, I just like this person's deal.
Yeah.
Then it can, people can go like, well, yeah, then we'll just have fun together and you'll feel a little bit more free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think. And then you'll just kind of naturally get better at what it is you're doing. Hopefully, maybe. Yes. What do I know? I think unbuckling my seatbelt will save me if my car goes off a bridge.
Well, there it is. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, Erin.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Super great chat. And doesn't it make you want to see Erin perform? Well, guess what? You can see her BoogieManja team Cliffhanger. They have a show on June 18th at 6:30 at Brooklyn Improv, formerly known as Second City, New York. And we have a link to get tickets in the bio. Follow her on TikTok and Instagram at ErinRNYC. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at There It Is Pod. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at There It Is. And follow me on Instagram and Threads at JasonFarPix. Also subscribe to our comedy lifestyle newsletter and support us if you can. We have a Patreon and a PayPal. Go to thereitispod.com for newsletter and support info. Links in bio. I cannot believe our next episode is our 10th anniversary episode. Until next time, be good to each other. It's a moral imperative.
The music for the theme song was created by Neil Brooks. The rap was written and performed by Nick Acevedo. The logo for There It Is was created by Jeff Prater. The There It Is podcast is produced by Jason Farr.